Hello, everybody. Welcome to the show. I'm ItsKim. Welcome to the Wednesday Hangout stream. Thank you so much, guys, for waiting. I know I was a few minutes late getting live today, and that's because there's been a lot of work that's gone into this show. I've done a lot of research. I've done as much as I can to try to do this story justice, and I don't like to. React impulsively. I like to take my time and make sure that I really have all of the details that I need. And that's what I have done today. So I want to thank you guys so much for your patience. I'm so glad that you're here. I am going to ask you guys to please hit that like button. It really helps out the stream. It helps me out as well. And also, if you have not subscribed, I would encourage you to do so. And if you really do enjoy these streams and you love being here, I would encourage you to take a look at the membership option and you can join my community of Space Angels. It's a really low price. It is one tier, gives you lots of extra bonus content as well as emojis. And it's just a really fun community. I love doing this. I love this community. And I'd love to see you join us and have some fun. So, oh my goodness. I have literally been preparing for this stream now for 2 days. so so we're finally here, and I'm so glad that we are. And we're going to continue with the coverage regarding the 8 passengers drama, which involves Ruby Franke as well as Jodi Hildebrandt. And um, this is going to get a bit heavy. I do want to give a little bit of a trigger warning on this one. Also, YouTube human reviewer, hello. I am going to continue to do my best to be respectful. Actually, I just realized I don't even know if I did the settings in the background on one thing. I got to go check. Sorry about that. But yes, hello, YouTube human reviewer. I'm doing my best. And I'm going to be respectful of this platform as I always try to be, and as every single one of the stuff that you've said is inappropriate, and then I've appealed it, and then you guys have changed it back to no, it's fine. I'm going to continue to do that. I try my best. Let me just take a look here. There we go. Perfect. Okay, we're good. We're good. Sorry about that. That was one thing I forgot to do, and it is done. All right. So, one thing I did want to mention before I go super far into the tough stuff. I don't even want to show this article because I don't want to cause any like hate or anything. But I saw an article this morning when I was doing my research, just catching up on anything new that's happened with this Ruby Franke drama. And Rolling Stone has put out an article basically saying this is the new case that is going to be filled of misinformation. And of course, how long do you think it took in this article when we're talking about misinformation and TikTok having an opinion about a case? How long do you think it took before they mentioned Johnny Depp? I'm literally on my phone, laying in bed this morning, like, really? Really, Rolling Stone? I don't know what's happened to Rolling Stone. This is just like a side rant. Like, I remember when Rolling Stone was like really cool. Like, I would honestly go to um like the gas station during my lunch hour when I was in high school, and I would go buy Rolling Stone because it was like really cool. And I felt like smarter when I read it instead of like reading like J14 or whatever was popular at the time. But yeah, it's quite a moment. It was quite a moment seeing that and just being like, this is weird. And I mean, I know they did like a weird thing where they put like, I believe if I remember correctly, they actually put one of the perpetrators of the Boston, I can't say the word, but booming on the cover. And I was like, I don't even know what this is anymore. I thought this was a magazine about music. I guess it's not. But yeah, it was ridiculous. It was ridiculous. And my half asleep mind thought that I kind of just started thinking like this whole thing. I'm amazed as someone that was involved with covering the Johnny Depp trial, how much this story is holding on. And it's almost like any opportunity that anybody can make to just jam that in there for like searches or SEO. I don't know what the reason is, but I just find it to be very interesting. And it was just a moment. But this caused me to just be like, really, is there no like Why do we have to keep going back to this? Like, why? Why? And then I remember how much these same media organizations were like judging YouTubers for talking about this because of money. And then I see you guys still like not you guys, like the media, you know what I mean? Like some media people still bringing this up. And I have to say, I gotta ask why. And then I remembered.
Insufficient funds. You ain't got no money. Woo.
I'm just saying, like, is it, what is, why? 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 And this is the way my brain works. So I wanted to share that with you because I know I have joked about that like meme for a bit, and I was just like, I just thought it was interesting. I hope you guys understand what I mean. I hope you guys get it, the humor. Let me know if you get it because I just can't. I can't anymore. But is that not like the greatest clip ever? Jennifer Hudson is a national treasure and should be protected at all costs. Oh my goodness. Okay, yeah. Wait a second. So yeah, I will build it. I will build it. It will happen. I have a stream deck I need to set up, and I know there's a way that I can just like um pull those types of things up and throw them in, and I really want to do that. I think that may be a really fun members only stream because there'll probably be like a lot of them that we then have to narrow down. But I will tell you right now that Jennifer will live here rent free forever because it's just too good. It's so good. Yes. It's all coming together. I cannot promise that Emperor's New Groove will not make an appearance in any of these memes. It's all coming together. Anyway, thank you, Veronica, for being a member for 11 months. That's so kind of you. I'm so happy. I need to add more of like the badges because I cannot believe how long it's been and that so many of you guys have been here for so long and you guys need special ones. So yeah. Well, we got new members? Yeah. I can't see it. General Scott did 5. Oh, General Scott gave. Sorry, producer sister is filling me in because I missed some of this. Okay. And Happy Annie joined. I see. I am going up in the search thingy. It doesn't give me all of the. StreamYard does not let me put all the messages up. But thank you so much, General Scott, for your generosity as always. Also, thank you for the PayPal you sent me the other day. That was very, very kind of you. And I believe I also got a PayPal from Shelly, and I wasn't able to say anything about it before. So thank you very much. PayPal stuff goes right back into the channel, and it helps me to be able to upgrade things and keep everything running. And I very much appreciate it. So thank you guys so much for that. And Happy Annie joined. Hi, Happy Annie. Welcome to Space Angels. I'm so glad you're here. Okay. So this is going to be a bit heavy. I have a lot of notes, so please forgive me for not staring into the camera. I'm really self-conscious about that because I remember when I started doing stuff on Popcorn, if I wasn't looking directly at the camera, there were a few people that were like, she's so rude. She's so rude. She's not even looking at us. And I had to be like, no, it's because I have like all these different monitors and I'm trying to make sure that I'm on top of everything. We're covering a court case. I can't say the wrong thing. So this is the method I found that works for me. But yeah, I've got about 2,000 words worth of notes. Yep. Yep. So here we go. Okay, so I have definitely started to do a deep dive on this case. And that's led me down a few roads that I was not expecting, to be 100% honest with you. It's been a lot. And the further I go in, it becomes abundantly clear to me that as much as we're all talking about Ruby Franke, for those of you who are new to the story, Ruby Franke was a YouTube vlogger. She had a very successful family YouTube channel. She had close to 2.5 million subscribers that tuned in to watch her family and their adventures. She had 6 children. They were very open and heavily influenced by their Mormon faith. And Ruby started to catch a lot of hate for her parenting methods. People did not agree with it. Some people wondered if she was actually damaging her kids. And then the channel got shut down, basically, or she shut down the channel because there was a lot of controversy. And then she started this new thing with this lady named Jodi Hildebrandt, and they worked together on YouTube with a channel called Connexions, where they gave parenting advice and other things like that. And then a couple of weeks ago, Ruby and Jodi both get arrested, and they are both charged with multiple counts of CA, which I'm going to say because I have to watch my language because I am being careful. Hello, YouTube human reviewer. Um, and the thing is, the further I've gone into this, the more I've been like, I think Jodi might be the mastermind of all of this. And I don't say that lightly. I did not come to that conclusion lightly, but I feel like after the research I've done in the past couple of days, I feel like I'm seeing a bit more evidence of that I really wanted to share with you guys. So there's two people who have spoken up against Jodi very loudly. Um, and based on what I have seen, I don't believe they're going to be the last. Um, I've seen now multiple people say that people have been terrified to talk about her for years. But now that she's been arrested and other people are starting to talk, they're feeling a bit more comfortable. And so, any situation like that, I feel like sometimes when there can be religious trauma, for example, or CA or any of that type of stuff, I think it's important to bring the stories into the light and support the people that are coming forward because I think validation is very important for them. And that's part of what I would like to do here is really just validate these people. So the first person who has come forward, who we will be talking about the most today, is Jessi Hildebrandt, who is related to Jodi. Jessi's father is Jodi's sister. And the second is her former client, Adam Paul Steed. There's Adam, and he had an article with People magazine that came out earlier this week, and on the 8th. I think it came out on the 8th of September. And I want to mention him right off the bat because anybody that's been following this story knows that yesterday a very important interview with Adam came out. And you may remember on the last stream, I talked about when Jodi had her license revoked. And that it was revoked because she violated confidentiality terms, she violated HIPAA, and it was for this client, Adam. And her decisions during that time of spreading information that she had no business spreading, it got him kicked out of university, and it also destroyed his marriage. So when he says that she destroyed my life, he means it. But the thing was, in my research that I did about Jodi before the last stream, I was aware of Adam. Then I sat down yesterday and I started to watch the interview that Adam did. I made it about 45 minutes before I had to stop because I got really, really emotional. Adam's story is so much deeper than Jodi, and quite bluntly, I do not trust what I'm seeing right now with the media being reported because what I did not know and I found out yesterday was that when Adam was younger, before this stuff happened with Jodi, he was a whistleblower of the Boy Scouts. There's been documentaries about him and his story. There's been other press coverage, but for whatever reason, I'm not seeing the two of them connect. And this is so like to me, I don't see how you can separate these two. And I'm going to explain why. And how I'm going to do that is on this slide here, and I've censored it. So this is in an article in the Salt Lake Tribune that talks about Adam and one of the documentaries that was made about him. And it says in the documentary, the director follows Steed's story of SA by a counselor at Idaho Falls Boy Scout Camp, a facility owned by the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, which sponsored most of the scout trips in the area. Ultimately, the man was sent to jail for 5 months and put on parole for 15 years. In court, he admitted to hurting, is what I'm going to say, 24 boys. And Adam believes that it is possible that Jodi's involvement in his life, because he was directed to Jodi by his bishop, was retaliation. And as much as I cannot say for certain that that is fact, I understand why he feels that way. I really do. It's incredibly difficult. CSA is a very tough subject for me. And some of you know that I am still dealing with the fallout of my own, and that it affects me on every level. And covering stories like this can cause me significant amounts of pain, both emotional and physical. And I have to be very careful. And I'm going to be, because honestly, covering these types of stories for me in an odd way is healing, because I'm doing something about it. I'm trying to show that these things do happen, so that hopefully when kids come forward or adults come forward, that people have heard of stories like this and their first instinct is not to dismiss the survivor, because it can be so shocking. And that's where my heart is on this. I don't like to react impulsively to stories in the media. And as much as I know that can hurt me, that can really hurt me. It can hurt me with my algorithm. It can hurt me with my content, because I'm not getting on right away. But the thing is, the more that I go into these stories, the more I realize it takes sometimes a little bit for all the information to come out. It's like a trickle. And I would rather sit back and wait a day or two, get all the information, put it all out there in a way that is digestible and understandable. And also for myself, get over the shock, because I would hate to be looking at something like this for the first time in front of everybody. That's just a me thing. I don't know if that makes sense. But we are going to dig into Adam. But there was no way that yesterday I was going to be able to digest all 6 hours of that interview podcast that he did. Plus being on Popcorn Planet yesterday, if you guys were watching at all, we were covering more stuff about Scientology and Danny Masterson and all that stuff that's really heavy. Plus I wanted to get up to date on Jessi, because I know I am behind on Jessi. So we're going to cover Jessi today. I'm hoping we'll be able to cover Adam next, and I'll be able to give a bit more of a rounded coverage on that as well. And if we're going to see other stuff come out from other people, we can bring all that together, because I know I have a lot of survivors that are in this community, and I want to be respectful to you guys too. And I hope that that all makes sense, that I want you guys to know that I take this incredibly seriously, and I want it to come across as, respectful and a safe place, even when we're talking about things that are difficult. So I hope that that's all good. We're on the same page. Producer sister, are we good?
Yep.
All right. Have I missed anything? Okay.
Our 10-month member.
Oh.
She didn't tweet a message.
Okay. Aria's 10 months. Thank you so much for being here. That's wonderful. Very much appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you. And I will just say, if there are any memberships sent out or super chats or anything that you guys want to do to support the stream, I will get to those comments. I have to focus on this while we're going through this story. So please know that if you send a message in, I'm not ignoring you. I definitely want to, to read all of it and have that with you guys, but I have to stay focused on this content while I go through it. So, much love to everybody. Let's do it. So, we are going to focus on Jessi today. And Jessi did a 3-hour sit down interview podcast 6 days ago on the Mormon Stories podcast. And I have the feeling I'm going to be hanging out on this podcast quite a bit while we are going through this coverage. And I really got to give it to them. They put on a fantastic program, very respectful. I was very, very encouraged by the way that they handled this situation. And I have to say that Jessi is an incredible person. And they have shown so much strength and bravery. The podcast was so well done. Um, and I've also seen that since Jessi has done other media appearances, Jessi is exposing a lot, and it's at a lot of personal cost. And I believe them, and they've done an incredible job. Now, Jessi is related to Jodi. Jessi's name is Jessi Hildebrandt. And Jessi identifies with they, them pronouns. And I'm going to do my best to honor that when we talk about this. If I misgender, it is accidental, and I'm going to do my best to learn and be respectful. But something I do want to mention that I cannot ignore is that Jessi was raised as a girl in the church. And I'm sure many of you who have had religious backgrounds and even just living in general know that there is a different set of rules for girls versus boys, especially in cultures where things like purity culture exists and things like that. So Jessi's experience has very heavily been influenced by that. So Jessi is related to Jodi because Jessi's father is Jodi's brother. So that's the connection. Sorry. So Jessi lived with Jodi for an extended period of time while receiving treatment from her, which is a red flag to me because I don't think that family members treating other family members, especially in a live-in setting, is a good thing. That just screams conflict of interest to me, and I don't understand how it happened in the first place. Like, does anyone here have any family members that are doctors or therapists or anything, and you've been treated by them? Because I've always been told that that's like a no, like a never, ever. But I mean, I guess the laws are different for everybody, right? So you can't like it's hard to be like, that's absolutely wrong, but I don't know. But to me, it just kind of seems like a bad idea. I'll just put that there. So the more that I watched, the more I got the feeling. So this is the thumbnail, sorry, of the podcast. Just so you guys know, I have the link also in the doc, in the sources if you want to check it out. Again, it's called the Mormon Stories podcast and is with Jodi Hildebrandt. And we'll be watching a couple little clips from it later on. But again, it's 3 hours. So I wanted to try to condense it down a little bit for you guys. So I highly recommend it if you want to watch it. But I know that not everybody has, 3 hours to sit and watch it every day. So type thing. So totally get that. But as I watched Jessi, it became very clear to me that Jessi was trying to be a good kid. Jessi really wanted to understand Mormonism and really did believe. Jessi studied the faith at length, reading the Book of Mormon multiple times, as well as other religious texts, because Jessi wanted to understand. But as a child and as a teen, Jessi had questions, very real questions that they asked, and they could not be answered, or people didn't want to answer them. And Jessi was encouraged to, not ask, which I'm sure if any of you guys have experience with anything remotely like this, you know where I'm going with this. Jessi, being a curious teenager who wanted real answers to real questions, was seen as rebellious. And Jessi would also do things like challenge, I guess, would continue to be a rebellious teenager, doing such things as making a MySpace. That was apparently all of that asking questions, MySpace, at one point refusing to wash dishes because Jessi was a vegetarian and wasn't eating the food. So Jessi didn't want to do the dishes. And that was a no no. So Jessi's parents decided to send over power of attorney to Jodi and leave Jessi in her care. Again, I feel like when we talked about this in the last stream, and we talked about when Ruby sent away her son to that wilderness thing for like 8 to 10 weeks or whatever it was, and they were like it was for behavioral issues, and as I looked at the behavioral issues, it was just stuff like, "This is normal teenage stuff." I do not understand, like, the severity of how this was treated based on the behavior that preceded it, based on what we know. Because again, as we learned in the chat last time, I mean, I'm sure we were all perfect teenagers. Um, sorry, producer sister, you okay? Okay. Um, yeah, it's definitely makes me question, and I have concerns. So soon as Jessi was in the care of Jodi, Jodi started to remove things from Jessi's life that, as Jessi said, gave Jessi worth. So stuff like Jodi made her cut off her hair. Jodi pulled um or Jodi pulled Jessi out of school. Jessi was homeschooled for a while, but even that ended, which is illegal, and I don't quite understand again how that happened. There's a lot of questions here about how any of this was legal, but all right, we'll just keep going. Um, and I'm just gonna read this. Jessi was told regularly by Jodi that they were evil and that Satan was literally living in Jessi. Jodi cited things like Jessi's anger, saying that anger made Jessi evil, which is ridiculous. And I'm just going to say this right here. I don't understand that type of logic at all within any faith that involves Jesus, because Jesus flipped tables. So I'm just, that just really ticks me off. I don't understand it. And I don't believe that using a healthy, normal human emotion as a weapon is ever okay. There's nothing wrong with being angry. The way that you handle it is one thing, but there's nothing wrong with the emotion. And that's so dangerous to do. If Jessi had a sad expression on their face, Jodi would say it was manipulating people around them to feel sorry for them. And Jessi also identifies as queer and had kissed a girl, which also made them evil. So Jodi said her treatment was like spiritual surgery. And Jodi and Jessi's bishop compared Jessi to a horse that needed to be broken. Yeah. So the next thing that I want to get into with this that I think is important, and this kind of relates to other things we've heard. And this is part of what anybody who is following this story and knows the things that Ruby has now accused her children of. This is important. This is very, very important. Jodi was convinced that Jessi was an addict of multiple things, including relations, even though she hadn't had relations. And was regularly called evil for those things. And it almost seems like, based on what I've seen with Jodi with Adam and now Jodi with Jessi, and now looking at the kids, I'm kind of going like, it's almost like if it almost feels like, this is my opinion, this is what I'm taking from what I've seen. It's like if Jodi sees someone or hears that somebody has watched one piece of adult content, I'll say it that way, that they're addicted. Which, no. That's That's not the definition of the word. But, all right. It's just ridiculous. So much so that Jessi was actually not even this is a little bit extreme in my opinion. Jodi wasn't allowed to use certain types of sanitary products in fear that she would use it to enjoy herself. Jessi was also duct taped in public in their church. Jessi wasn't allowed to speak to other people. At one point, Jessi had to sleep in a sleeping bag on a balcony, on Jodi's balcony, in January because Jodi said she was afraid that if Jessi was in the house with her, that they would unalive her. Jessi was told repetitively that they were evil, that no one cared about them, that they destroyed people's lives, and that God hated them. Jessi was a child. And these are the kinds of things that change people forever. And again, as I had mentioned in my last stream, that part of the reason I wanted to talk about this is because as someone that has CPTSD, I do see a dialogue going on with medical professionals saying that there is a section of us that are diagnosed because of religious trauma. And Jessi very bravely disclosed publicly that she has been diagnosed with complex post-traumatic stress disorder. And Jessi has also been hospitalized multiple times for unaliving attempts. This is absolutely horrific. And I know after all the research I've done, I know this is pretty obvious, but I do have to say that this is alleged. This is all according to Jessi. This is what Jessi says. I don't have evidence or proof of any of this. But the thing is, when you step back and you take a look at the whole picture, it's very hard, at least for me, to not believe Jessi with what they're saying. And I'm at least going to sit back and, watch this play out. And I don't have a reason right now not to believe Jessi. If one comes to light, I will let you guys know. But I just don't have one at this time. And it also seems like Jodi was the go-to fixer. I don't have my ticker going. I should have my ticker going because I am saying my opinion on some of these things. And this is based on the research I've done. I have all of the links of what I'm referring to in the doc. So if you have questions, if you want to question me on something, like say stream's over, leave a comment. I will do my best to try to answer and show you where I got that information. But it seems to me like Jodi was the go-to fixer for when someone was being a problem in the church. And as Jessi was asking questions, they were a problem. So Jodi was entrusted with fixing Jessi to be a good girl who stayed quiet and did not question. And Jessi also confirmed that Jodi regularly billed the Mormon church. And Jessi knew this because she processed Jodi's billing. The ethical issues here are insane. And I don't ever, as I said in the last stream, someone's faith structure does not make them a bad person. If someone has a belief in a certain religion, it doesn't make them a bad person. And I would never want to suggest that anyone who practices any type of faith is a bad person because they practice that faith. I don't tolerate that. We talked about it a bit in the last stream. That is like, we are not dealing with any of that here. That's not acceptable here, period. But we can't ignore that, according to Jessi and other survivors, the church knew this was happening and it seemed like they wanted it to happen, which is really, really sad. Jessi was required to write out their sins, and they were told that they were getting worse because of the sin that was buried inside of them, which was causing shame. But it got to the point where Jessi didn't know what to say anymore and didn't know what they had done, and they ran away and they lived in a shelter until they were found by detectives and returned to the care of their grandparents and sent back to Jodi. And at that point, the abuse continued. And I have a clip of the podcast that I want to share with you. So I'm just going to pull that up. I do want to apologize a little bit. I usually try to make sure that I cut these clips down and I have them separate, but we're going to have to do like just a screen grab. So I'm going to have to move over and do this. This was part of what was taking me longer to be able to share this with you. So give me 1 second. All right. So here's the part I wanted to share with you guys. And this is what happened after Jessi was taken back to Jodi. And please let me know if there's any audio issues. I will do my best to fix them.
The next morning, though, after I ran away, she pulled me out of bed by my hair, blindfolded me, tied my wrists, tied my legs, put me in the car, and just started driving. And I think we stopped at what I'm assuming at a gas station. And at the gas station, she screamed at me to lay on the ground because I was manipulating people. If people could see me, I was manipulating them into thinking something was wrong. So I laid on the ground of her car, and she drove for what felt like hours into the mountains. And my other grandparents, not my dad's parents, but my mom's parents, parked. I found this out afterwards. Were parked at the base of the mountain to make sure I didn't run away. And she had me run up and down for 6 hours, up and down and up and down. And the other part about this type of abuse that I don't think is talked about as much is that 90% of the time you're evil and horrible and wrong, and the abuse is almost unbearable. But then there are moments where you're rewarded.
This hit me like a ton of bricks.
And you are now the best thing in the world. And so after these 6 hours of running up and down, the reward that Jodi gave me of acceptance of like, you did it, you did the thing. It creates this cycle of, which I think is already the foundation and the prerequisites of this is already instilled in the Mormon Church of having to earn love. But that has affected my life forever, for the rest of my life, of if I try a little harder, if I do a little bit more, maybe they'll love me, maybe they'll accept me, maybe they'll whatever. In this case, it was really extreme, where the abuse was so extreme. But then if you would bear it, then you would get these moments of immense reward from her.
That is quite striking to me. And it reminds me a lot of other conversations that we've had just regarding the dynamics of these relationships that are not healthy. And it is absolutely heart-wrenching. And I wanted to show you guys that clip simply because I think Jessi has carried themselves so well and explained it so well. Because being able to say that is very difficult. And I was just so almost taken aback by how well they handled this. And obviously, it's absolutely horrific. So Jessi was able to get out. Jessi is now in no contact with their family. And I do not blame them in the least at all. But that is the Jessi side of this, and Jessi is one of many. And I know we're going to be hearing way more stories coming out. And if this is what Jodi would do to her own blood, I am scared of what is about to come out with people. So, I just want to say, yeah, Jessi is actually a tattoo artist. I will do my best. I will there's a link to their Instagram that was shared on the podcast. And I will see if I can add that in to the links because they do great work. American traditional and super super good. Super good. So I hope that Jessi does really well from here on out because definitely Jessi got a lot of support from people through that podcast, and it's good to see that. So other, I think it's called Jessi Tattooer or something like that. Producer Sister's going to look for it, but if you can't find a Producer Sister, that's fine. It took me a minute to get it. So I just saw, hi Marcella. I always have to say hi. Now, so that's the heavy part of Jessi. Oh, thank you, Producer Sister. Producer Sister found it. Yeah. So if you want to take a look at the work that Jessi does, because they're incredible, you're welcome to do so. I am going to shift a little bit and mention something else that I've been seeing the past few days that I wanted to bring up. The first thing about it is we're bringing back my new favorite segment. That's convenient because apparently Ruby had to get moved to the medical block as well as Jodi. Well, they were in jail. I don't know what's happening, but apparently they've both now had medical issues. I'm just saying, to me, there's something weird about this. We talked about it on the last stream that apparently Jodi had a life-threatening health issue, and then Ruby's now had a health issue. Ruby's apparently back in normal prison now or whatever. I don't know what's going on, but I can't help but be like, I don't know. You guys get what I mean? I'm not trying to be rude, but it just feels very, very convenient. Very convenient. But separate from that, I've been seeing a lot of discussion about the dad, about Ruby's husband, and why has he not been charged? Which honestly, I understand the criticism because the criticism of Ruby's parenting has been going on for a long time. And her husband was present through a lot of that. But it was revealed this week on a sidebar podcast on law and crime, and I have the link to that as well in the doc, that they have been separated for 13 months and that Ruby has been in control of them communicating. So he left because that's what Ruby wanted, according to this attorney. And Ruby basically says, I will call you. And if we want to work this out, like distance, basically, was my interpretation. And I felt like when I was watching this attorney, they were being very careful with their words, which I understand because they're an attorney. But it did feel like there was an implication that the breakdown of things had something to do with Jodi. And other stories I've been hearing about Jodi of clients that she's had are saying that, she apparently really hates men. And this is a whole thing. So I can't help but wonder if it is possible that on some level, and I am not saying that he is perfect, that is it possible that maybe he is a victim of sorts in this as well? I don't know. I think this is going to be something we have to follow. And I have watched also other interviews from former investigators who have also talked to law and crime. And what they are saying is that there are no charges at this time. That doesn't mean it won't change. So for all we know, this could go in a very different direction. But I wanted to let you guys know that this has been, this is a discussion. that is being had at this time regarding him. People haven't forgotten about him. So if anything happens with that, I'll let you know. Also wanted to mention, I was actually very excited because Sidebar on Law and Crime did an interview. They brought in Ben Chew, one of Johnny Depp's attorneys, to ask his opinion on the whole situation. And I was so proud because the first thing that he really brought up when he really got to talk was he's like, what about mandatory reporting? Which was the big thing that I harped on the last stream. So I'm like, yay! I was somewhat on point with that. Yeah, there's a lot of concerns. And ultimately, to close off this portion of the live stream, I wanted to share another clip with you guys from Jessi, because I think Jessi said it very, very well. And as I said, as I started to do research on this, I started to wonder, is it possible that Jodi is the mastermind? And I'm just going to share this clip with you guys because I thought it was fantastic.
And from what I've heard, when these children of Ruby, when they were taken, or when Jodi was arrested, Jodi told them that these children should not be around anyone else, that they were evil and they can't be around anyone else.
Other children, right? They can't be around other children.
They can't be around other children. They shouldn't be around other children
because of allegations evil. that Ruby made,
or something to that effect. And this is exactly what she did to me. So the thing that I am finding, I'm having a lot of emotional reaction to, and it's complicated because I'm grateful, in a weird way, I'm grateful that she partnered with someone that has so much fame, because I don't think there was no way it would be getting the coverage that it's getting if she hadn't. But Jodi is the mastermind here, not Ruby. Ruby is still responsible and should be arrested for harming her children for sure. And I'm sure Jodi used what it was already there, which is what she does. She uses what's already there to her advantage. Jodi is the one doing this. This is Jodi's therapeutic ideas. These are Jodi's ideas that she has been doing for over 14 years. This is not new. This is a pattern. And I cannot. I'm just so grateful that these children, were taken out of that care, not care, but out of custody from them, and that hopefully, because of the validation and the repercussions that are happening to them, that their healing will be much faster than 14 years.
And Jessi's referring to that's how long it's taken them to be able to process some of this. It's just so incredibly difficult. And again, I cannot commend Jessi more. I cannot find the words of just how it sounds so silly for me to say, because I don't know this person, but just how proud I am of them for coming forward and saying this, because it must have been so difficult. So difficult. So again, this podcast is incredible. The Mormon Stories podcast, from what I have seen, has handled this so professionally and so well. Goals. And I'm so happy that this is coming out this way, and that there's a place that people that have just been through it are going to be able to go and speak and tell the truth of what's happened to them. And hopefully there can be healing. So I know that this was heavy. I want to thank you guys all for watching. I cannot believe how many of you guys are watching right now. This may actually be the most amount of people we have had watching at the same time that I've ever had. And I'm so happy that it's for this one. So happy that it's for this one, because I feel like this is a kind of abuse and trauma that doesn't get talked about enough. And I'm just so happy that it is being talked about, because these people deserve freedom. They deserve to not have these things weighing them down. So that's the heavy. We made it through the heavy. And we're going to move on to the next topic. I want to have a little bit of I want to just check in with you guys, see how everybody's doing. There's a couple of little things I want to talk about. And then we do have a fun thing this stream. For those of you that have never seen me stream before, I usually do a topic and it's like, sometimes it's heavy, sometimes it's not, but it's more serious. And then we talk about a few other little things. And then we always have something that is like the funnies section, basically, where we laugh or we do something completely different, just like a palate cleanser, or just some fun, because life sucks. And we need to find the fun stuff, or just have a good time. So that's the way that the method normally goes of what I've got here. So I'm going to take this down. Perfect. I've just been informed that Shauna gifted 5 memberships. Yep. Thank you so much, Shauna. That's so kind of you. Welcome to the new Space Angels. I will say again, there is a playlist on the main page of my channel. It's called Space Angels Only. And it's got all types of special behind the scenes content and other stuff that I've done exclusively for Space Angels. The nice thing about membership with the behind the scenes stuff is that I'm a bit more free to do the things that I really want to do. And that means that the content gets a bit more fun and sometimes a bit more crazy. And I love to be able to share that with you guys. And again, if you were not gifted a membership, please make sure that you have allow gifts on, because it does get crazy in here sometimes with gifting wars, which is very much appreciated. And I love you guys so much for any support that you give me. It just means the world. And also, if it's something you want to take a look at, again, I've kept the price on that pretty low, and there's only one level because I want everybody to be equal, and everybody can join the club. So if that's something you think you might be interested in, feel free to give it a try, and I'd love to see you there. Okay, so I'm just going to take a look at the comments here. If you guys want to at me, if you have a comment you want me to read and we can talk about it and things like that, it's totally fine with me. This is an open forum. This is a discussion. This is a community. And I also know there's a lot of people here who are survivors of different types of things that have happened to them. And I think sometimes people being able to converse about it and share and feel heard and validated is very helpful. So that's part of why I like to do that. And that's part of why I've kind of started to be like, I want to do these live as opposed to being pre-recorded, because I think it's really helpful for people sometimes. And oh my gosh, it is a miracle. Thank you, Lord. We are still monetized, guys. Pardon? It is. It's amazing. It's amazing. Thank you. Thank you. Oh my goodness. It's only, yeah, it's the ukulele person, which actually I do have to mention while you guys leave your comments. I did see that there's new drama coming with Ukulele Lady. And it involves the strangest turn that I never expected. Apparently, Jojo Siwa has an opinion. I haven't even watched it yet. I haven't watched it. I just read the headline and I saw that Adam McIntyre talked about it. And I was like, I can't handle this. Like, this is getting ridiculous. This is insane. This is insane. So I will be looking at that as well. But I did not have time with everything else I was looking at. And it just, it was a moment. Yeah. And as Heather just said, where is it? I'm trying to get it. Yeah. Waiting for Swoop. I need Mama Swoop to come back. But I am happy. I mean, the thing is, as long as it takes for Swoop to put out the next part with this whole drama, I'm totally fine with, because I was very, very worried about her based on things I was seeing on Instagram, of just her health. And I hope she's doing better, and I hope she's taking care of herself and that everything's okay. I mean, I will wait. Honestly, for me, like, I don't know if you guys have YouTubers that you love that you're subscribed to that haven't posted in forever. And it doesn't matter, because like, I will care about them in like 15 years. I will never unsubscribe from Jenna Marbles. I don't care. I want her to be happy. I don't know if she will ever come back, but I'm never unsubscribing from her. Swoop is like that for me at this point. So, yeah. Yeah, and absolutely, yeah, for real. The longer Swoop takes, the more in depth it'll go. That is 100% true. 100% true. Yeah. Oh, Marsha, that's awesome. Welcome to membership. I love it when that happens. People are like, I just got something. What? That's crazy. Oh my goodness. Let me take a look here. Just taking a look at your comments. Um, yeah. it- I just thought Anita, yeah, Jessi is a beautiful soul, and I hope they know that everything Jodi did is because of the evil in Jodi, 100%. And I really hope Jessi has been able to heal. Me too. Me too. Like, honestly, like watching that whole video, I was like, a part of me is just like, I go to coffee with this person, just talk, because it's like they really do just seem like an amazing person. Amazing person. Um, so I wish the best for them, 100%. And I hope we hear from them more, because I think people really like watching them, and I could see them doing amazing things on this platform, even like being really good. Okay. Aw, I'll never unsubscribe from you, Linda. By the way, if you guys are not following Linda, I have her link actually in the description of this video. Let me double check here and help Linda get her subscriber count up, because she deserves it. And she makes really good content. She's amazing. So I'm gonna spam you. Yeah, I beat you, producer sister. Yeah. Yep, exactly though. Yeah, I will gladly sit another 4 hours as well. I mean, I think next time I'm gonna order a pizza and probably get a bottle of wine and just strap in. Ah, but I will say too, guys, if you have not subscribed, please consider doing so. I'm really hoping that I can up that count for me in the future. That's like a personal goal manifesting for myself. I want to move. I want to move up. I want to do this more. We are making. I am making this more of a commitment in my life, more of a priority in my life, because I love doing this. And I've also had an incredible amount of support from producer sister, who is really helping me with a lot of this stuff. And we want to be able to continue bringing you guys more content. I think as long as I am well, I would love to do 2 streams a week, if you guys are down for that. So we're going to continue to work on that. So if you want to be notified, you want to know when this stuff is going on, subscribe. It's free 99, right? Oh, Danny Skills, thank you so much for the super sticker. Is that a pear? Is it a pear?
It kind of looks like a cross between a pear and a gourd.
Producer sister just said it's like a cross between a pear and a gourd, and now I'm like, where is Matt Bond? Because the VeggieTale jokes should be flowing right now. Oh my goodness. Oh. Aw. Oh, thank you, Carrie. That's very sweet of you. I'm glad. I'm glad. I'm happy to be a good place for people to come to. That makes me very, very happy. Oh, Shauna, my goodness, you didn't have to do that. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Thank you. You are amazing too, Shauna. You are incredible. You are so incredible. Oh, Molly, that's super kind of you. I would love to stream every day if I could. But the thing is, like, and this is kind of my sorry?
Big commitment.
Yeah, it's a big commitment. And the other thing too, like, this is probably a personal, like, I feel like it's a double-edged sword. I like to be prepared. I'm a bit of a perfectionist. I like to make sure that I have everything in a row. I am so bad at doing things on the fly. Like, I'm horrible at it. I really, really am. So it's like I always feel like I need to like really take my time and get information, because I want what I have to say to be worth listening to, and I really, really take that pretty seriously. But sometimes I know that can hold me back a bit. So I have to find a balance on that one. But yeah. Billy Cat, yes, you simped responsibly. That is a joke from my friend Steph. Steph the alternate and I. We joke sometimes about people when they're getting thirsty for whatever reason, or, they really want to support a creator or whatever. It's like, simp responsibly. You got to do it responsibly. You got to know your limit, Oh my goodness. Yes, Linda. It's my favorite. It's my favorite. You guys are my favorite. Okay. So let me just take a look here. Okay, so producer sister has put together something for us for the funnies of the stream, or just the thing to have more fun. And we are going back to an old classic today. We're doing an I Am the A-hole. I'm excited. So I have not seen this. I have seen nothing of this. And I will be reacting authentically the same way as you guys. So I'm just gonna take a sip here of my Coke. I've had a coffee and this is my Coke, and I'm still gonna need more caffeine today.
Yes.
Sorry?
Yes.
What? Caffeine? Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Just more caffeine. Yes.
Yes.
Yes. I hope that this is. Sean, I hope it does. I'm sure it's going to be great. All right. So here we go. Am I the a-hole for refusing to let my parents put a tracker on my phone? 28 female. Why? I know we're going to find out, but why? Why? Okay, there's got to be a good reason. There's got to be a good reason, because I can't, like, I know, right? Ray's like, I don't even need to hear it. Not the a-hole. Oh gosh, when you know. Oh, sorry, my phone just buzzed. I just have to double check, make sure everything's okay. Okay, yeah, we're good. Sorry about that. Okay, let's go. So I have to make this a bit bigger, so I'm not going to be able to see your chats as much, guys, but I will do my best. Context. Thank you. I love how that's the first word of this thing. Context. My life has not turned out the way that I wanted to. I still live at home with my parents, who are extremely controlling. I had no idea. That is a shock to me. I am flabbergasted. I am baffled. All of my friends have left the country, so I'm on my own a lot. Most of my time is spent at home, at work, or going on solo walks. I don't drink. I don't go to the gym or play sports anymore. I don't have hobbies outside the house. I haven't dated anyone in 7 years. And all in all, a very uninteresting life. My one solace is being outdoors in nature and walking. My parents aren't happy with this. They think women shouldn't go on walks by themselves, as it is dangerous, in their words. And I know it would be better to ease their concerns if I had someone to go on walks with, but I don't. My mom has been trying to get me to share my location on my phone for years. I understand that she worries about my safety. However, the big problem for me is I know it's not just about my safety. She'll use it to become my stalker. I know this because she has had okay. I know this because she has my dad share his location with her and vice versa. She sits and stares at her screen and will say things like, "Oh, your father has just left tennis. Oh, your father has just arrived at work. Oh, your father is leaving the pub." Not that I have anything to hide, but it's the one boundary I've held on to, and I've been so proud of myself for not caving. I understand this. Today's events. Oh, I love how this is like in sections. So like we had the context section, and now we have the today's events section.
And there's nothing.
Oh no. Okay. Today I decided I'd take a trip up the coast and go for a walk along the sea. I told my parents about my plans at 10:30 a.m. My mom asked that I call her and keep in touch. Once I got there, 2 p.m., I called her and told her where I was. I also told her what walk route I would be taking. I didn't tell her when I would be home, but she also didn't ask. I also didn't message to say I was on my way home. My parents were furious when I arrived back at 8 p.m. My dad told me that I no longer had a say and that it was mandatory for me to have a tracker on my phone. Oh! Is that how it works? Okay. I told him that I had done everything asked of me. I had called, explained where I was going, etc. I also said they could have called me if they were concerned about my whereabouts. Truth. Sorry. I hate that so much. Like when you can do it too, bro. You have the technology. So as a result, I have been punished. Oh my gosh. The car that I drive is technically my dad's, so he has taken the keys away. He said that I can buy my own car or grant them access to my tracking information. I said they said they would never do this to me. Hold the fact that they bought the car over my head. Also, it makes no sense for me to buy a new car now. If this is current, I completely agree with this person. Like, if this is like, and I don't know what is going on with car prices. I don't know where you guys all are in the world, but car pricing where I am is now, it makes no sense anymore. It's like, it's so hard to get a new car, and the cost of used cars is ridiculous. It's pretty wild. So I kind of get that. If that is the reason, but there's also probably many other reasons. I'm at the final stage of graduate recruitment process, and if I am successful, I will be moving to London in September. However, I need to survive between now and then, and without the car, the little life I have is impossible. Oh my gosh. So am I the a-hole for refusing to let them put a tracker on my phone when their concern is my safety? Edit, my dad hasn't told me that he has taken the keys. I have a work event today, day after the post, and he plans for me to not find them when I need to go. Okay. I've been told there's an update.
I did a few comments first.
Okay, we got some comments first. Okay, then I'm going to react first then.
The update is from a few months later.
Okay. I feel like this is kind of a situation where there needs to be some, like, if the parents want more from her, they need to be willing to compromise on other things. I understand, depending on where you live, especially, going out alone as a woman is obviously very scary. However, I feel like, is there a way that they could do things like if she was going to go on this like day trip to the beach, for example, then she turns on her location that day. And then when she gets back, it's off. So there's only like that discussion of like when she's completely alone, far from home with nobody else, that is an option. Or that there is like a regular check-in type conversation or whatever. Because the other thing I would say, I know some people are like, yeah, but like if she gets abducted, for example, then we'll be able to know where she is. No, they're not. They're going to take the phone off, or they're going to throw it in the ocean. Like it's not, it's not going to tell you where she is all of the time. I understand the fear and I understand the anxiety, but when you follow through the logic, it doesn't really make a lot of sense. It's kind of my point. And she needs to be able to live her life and get a life of her own. And I feel like it doesn't feel like they've been very supportive of that, which is very depressing and very sad. So I don't think she's being the a-hole, but I think there's got to be some give and take from the parents here. I understand them being concerned about the safety of their child, but I mean, you can't protect your kid from everything, unfortunately. Does that make sense, producer sister?
Yeah. Like, I've lived alone. I've lived in a different city by myself. Do I wish sometimes that would have been an option? Yeah. It wasn't at the time.
Producer sister just said that there have been points, and this is very true, that producer sister has lived alone, and it would have been nice sometimes to know that was an option.
Especially when I first got there, like I'm 4 hours away and I
know
no one.
Producer sister went to university about 4 hours away from where we lived. And really you didn't know anyone when you went out there. So there was definitely like, but at the same time, you had like arrangements with mom and dad of checking in with them.
Mm-hmm.
And you also did have your phone, and we called you too, right? Like it wasn't like, and that's why I said there's like, in what I said, like they could call too. And I like made that point of saying like, yes, truth, like, yes, You can pick up the phone. Parents, if you are concerned with your kids, you can pick up the phone. The whole thing should not just be on them all of the time.
Yeah, you can't freak out because she didn't call you and you didn't call them.
Yeah, and yeah, producer said you can't freak out that they didn't call you when you didn't call them. There's got to.
It can't. She's an adult. It can't be a threatening thing.
Yeah, yeah. Gigi, that is so cute. I'm sorry. When I was 19, I used to go out drinking. I'd have to be back for midnight, just in case I turned into a pumpkin. If not, the police would be called. I mean, I hope that it was like you could have that open communication with them, though, because like I definitely had a curfew.
Yeah.
We had a strict curfew, but my mom was thankfully understanding enough and trusted the people that I hung out with enough that I would be like, I'm going to be 10 minutes late because there's traffic, or I'm going to be 10 minutes late because there was an accident, or maybe
more than that. We were going to a movie. It doesn't get out.
Yeah.
Maybe a half an hour late because of the movie.
Yeah, the movie doesn't get out until like just after curfew. Is that okay? Right? Like there's ways to work with people, Yeah, it's about communication. It's all about communication.
But there is something weird of knowing like you get home at 3 a.m. in university and no one's the wiser.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Linda, I love that. Yeah, my mom would call when I'm in the movies driving bar, and I got her to learn how to text instead. Perfect. Just keep the communication open, but come on, right? Carrie, yep. And that's the thing, right? I understand. I mean, I am not a parent, and I'm not going to pretend that I know what that's like. But I do love my family, and I've definitely had times that I've been concerned about members of my family and wanting to protect them and protect my friends. I'm a very protective person in general. But you can't save yourself from everything. And it's hard. I understand that anxiety very well. But you can't do everything, Yeah. You're 21-year-old away at college. See, that makes complete sense. That's fine. That's totally fine. But it's like,
to me, it's more when she's referencing how her mom like stalks her dad already.
Yeah, producer sister just brought up how it's like her mom, like the person who's writing this, that her mom stalks her dad as well. It's like it feels like there's some trust issues going on.
It's deeper than just
Yeah. It's weird. It's weird. Yeah. Thank you, Project Metal Music. Yep. Thank you, because it's been driving me crazy. My car is almost, I know this is totally off topic, like my car is almost paid off, and we've been kind of wondering, like, do we sell it and try to do something different? But now I'm like, I don't even know if we could get anything different, really, just the way that things are going. It's just crazy. Yep, Marcia, I think that's the best way. Just have open communication as much as possible. Yep, Tammy, I think there's definitely some issues here. Well, we have some comments. Let me take a look here. Okay, so not the a-hole. Edited to add. This is not an advice sub, so this post will probably be deleted, but your choices. I think this is fair. 1, add the tracking app to your phone, then delete it when you go to school in September. Okay, fair. 2, don't add the tracker and have no access to the car. 3, buy your own car. 4, move in with a friend until you go to school in September. While your parents are being ridiculous, there is not much else you can do, I'm guessing, if the car is in your dad's name. Good luck, and I wish you the best. Next person said, another choice, get the tracking app. Put the phone with the tracking app someplace safe and believable. For a few hours of untracked freedom, carry a cheap burner phone for safety. Interesting. You can also set up call forwarding from the hidden car phone to the burner phone in pocket phone. Interesting. But I just feel like that's like, it's almost too much. Like, you shouldn't have to do all that stuff, I just, and this is part of the problem too. Sometimes I think when people get a bit too overprotective is that they're going to like, you're just teaching a kid to rebel. You're teaching someone to rebel. You're teaching them how to learn to be dishonest, to protect themselves. You're teaching them that you don't trust them. There's just so many issues here. look here. Not the a-hole, but you realize you are living in an environment, right? You are almost 30 and they treat you like you're a 12-year-old. I had to go back and read your age again. You really need to move out now. Somebody said, oh boy, my wife was maybe 23, 25 until she was able to get a glimpse of what was going on wrong at home. And then it took another 8 years to somewhat break free from it. Sometimes you don't see the forest for the trees, or better said, when you're manipulated half your life, you don't even see it anymore. Exactly. It becomes normalized. It becomes normalized. And especially like if you don't have a lot of like friends or you don't spend time like with somebody else, like seeing a different family dynamic, you're just going to assume that everybody has things like this, you know? Tracking and surveillance above age 20? Yeah, no. Just get a cheap car or one you can resell easily later. That's what my cousin did when he was a couple months overseas. I mean, if you can make that work, that'd be cool. You know? So, okay, we got an update. Okay. Hi, everyone. Quick update for anyone who is interested. Recap. My parents wanted to put a tracker on my 28 female phone for my safety. I said no, and I was called a stupid. That wasn't in the first one.
Nope.
No. No, we don't do verbal abuse and controlling things. That is no. That is a no-no. Mm-mm. Nope.
Computer says no.
Yeah, computer says no. Bonus points to anybody that knows what that's from. Update. Things were very frosty the next couple of days. My mom eventually came to me and said that she was going to address the elephant in the room. She said that she was very disappointed in me as I didn't care about her. Oh, gosh. It's always about you, isn't it? She will just have to live without it, the tracker on the phone. I think she expected me to cave at that point, but I didn't. I said, thank you for understanding. And that was it. The car keys were returned to my drawer, and nothing more was said about it from anyone, including my dad. To this day, I have no idea why the 180-degree flip happened. Because they came to their senses. I hope. Although you all have helped me realize I have an unhealthy codependent relationship with my parents, I think it will just take time to set boundaries and learn how to be my own person. Yep. I still love them a lot, and I know they love me too, even though we aren't the type of family that says so. Which leads me to my other news. I got the job in London. Yes, girl, yes! I'm sorry, I'm so excited for her. I'm so excited for her. You go to London. I've officially moved out and I'm living there now. It still feels surreal. I know it's going to take some time to get used to living independently, but I am ready to be my own person and learn how to do things on my own. Good for you. Honestly, I had given up hope that this day would ever come. I feel so much happier and I can genuinely say I am proud of myself. If anyone has any tips for living away from home for the first time, please let me know. Finally, thank you for all of your support and giving me the push I needed. I was in a very dark place and now I feel like I can start living my life. Thank you. Small edit. People are asking about the car, / asking me to check it for trackers. To clarify, I didn't bring the car with me, so I can't check it. Probably for the best. Yep. That is fair. That is fair. I mean, I would assume in London, full disclosure, I've never been to London. I don't know what it's like, but I would assume public transit is definitely an option. I don't know if you really would necessarily need a vehicle depending on where you were living.
Yeah.
Right?
It'd be like Toronto.
Yeah. Like, I mean, please correct me, those of you that know London. If I am incorrect, educate me. But like, it's
They
just,
have a subway system.
yeah, they have a subway and yeah, I know you can get cabs like everywhere. So
The train is
yeah.
much more developed than it is here.
Yeah, the train. Yeah. Judy just said, hang on, let me put this up here so I can put your comments up. London is great for tubes and buses. Yeah. Yeah. Kyle, I think we're assuming London, UK. I think so. I don't know if
Little London, Ontario.
Oh, London, Ontario.
Been there.
Yeah, yeah. You know what though? I will say I did know a producer sister had a friend once that came to see us, and I was told that she was coming from London, and I assumed that it was London, England. And they were like, "Yeah, she'll be here in a couple of hours." And I'm like, "That's amazing. How are they doing that?" I was very young. I didn't make the connection. But yeah, so sometimes I go like, I still have that a bit. But yeah. Danny, I know. I need to. I need to see stuff again. She's amazing. She's my sister. She's amazing. Yeah. Yeah, public transportation is great. Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah. So, you know what? Good for her. I really hope that this is a great thing for this person and that, their life improves because that's weird. All right. So I got another comment here. Not the a-hole. Quoting. She said she was very disappointed in me, but as I didn't care about her, she would just have to live without it to track her my phone. I think she expected me to cave at I think she expected me to cave at that point, but I didn't. I said thank you for understanding, and that was it. The car keys were returned to the drawer, and nothing more was said from anyone, including my dad. To this day, I have no idea why the 180-degree flip happened. To which the person said, "Man, that is very suspicious. Check those keys, check your car, check anything/everything you carry around with you on a daily basis. Tracker apps on phones aren't the only kinds of tracking that's possible. Physical ones are small enough now to be added to a whole ton of things. Congratulations on the job, the move, and standing up for yourself. Best wishes for continued success and growth in your life." And it looks like the overall consensus was not the a-hole. So I'm going to ask you guys, is OP the a-hole? Yes or no? So OP is original poster. So is the person that posted this the a-hole? Let me know. Right? Hang on. Give me a second. I gotta fix all my formatting now. You did. You were right. Oh my goodness. Yeah. You did. You called it. So how are we doing? Yeah, we have the 6% saying yes, 96% or 94% saying no. So I think for the most part, we're in agreement. We are in agreement. It was fun. I miss doing these. I know we love having the other funny stuff too, but doing the Am I the A-holes are fun too. But I do like the variety. I am curious, like in the past, we've done things like design fails, we've looked at dog pictures, we've looked at funny Amazon reviews, we've looked at Am I the A-holes. We just try to keep it different. We try to keep it fun. And switch it up. But I'd love to know like which ones you guys tend to like the most. And we can definitely take a look at that. I had a random question for you guys while you guys are voting in the poll because I want to give you guys a few minutes. We've got 136 people here that I can see, and we've got 37 votes. So the consensus could change a little bit. So I want to give people time to vote and to do that. So I will say, if I'm going to be trying to stream more, one of the things I struggle with the most is, for example, doing like thumbnails, and I want to try to do something a bit more streamlined. And I'm also kind of like at a point where it's like, I don't know what to call these streams. You know what I mean? Like, and that's why I end up having like, it's the Hangout stream or it's the this stream or whatever, because I don't know what to call it. It's like, if this is like a show, we need like a show name, right? Like same as like the communities of Space Angels, right? We, we started coming up with different things of that we call things. And it's like, I'm really trying to figure out what to call this. So if you guys have any ideas, I'm also open to that as well because I am struggling. And I think the more streamlined I can do this, the more content I can bring. You know what I mean? Because then there's less like stuff holding me up. So yeah. Oh, Katie, that's kind. Thank you. Thank you. I think and Gigi as well. I think the variety is good. Variety is good. Panic Vent, he said on Wednesdays we were pink. You know what? I really wanted to call it like the "You Can Sit With Us." I thought that was really cute, and like Lean and I had talked about that because we both love Mean Girls. And then I found out that there's like actually a pretty popular podcast called You Can Sit With Us. I'm like, okay, so I can't do that. So it's like trying to find something that's like original that hasn't already been done. So it's tough. It's tough. Yeah, it's like hang out with like I want it to be chill, right, Becky? Like I think like you know what I mean? I think you're on the right track. We've got to do something like that. Am I the a-hole? And Amazon reviews are my vote. Those gummy bears. That gummy bear one, man, that is royalty. That is internet royalty. Oh my goodness. Please don't do Meghan Markle's. You know what? I'm going to leave that to people that know way more about it than I do. I don't know enough about it at all. And that's fine. That's totally fine. I think too, like, I think I would get. I'm assuming that this is somewhat a reference to my friend Steph that does a lot of content on the Royals. And I you know what? She does it well. She does it super well. You know, even if, like if it's not somebody's thing, she does a super good job with it and has a lot of people that love her content. And she definitely fills that niche and she does it in a great way. But it's definitely not the the niche that I'm that I'm a part of. Soki, I am dying. That is amazing. Oops, I'm streaming again. I have no life. I'm still in the basement. Angels, I'm so alone. It's just me and my sister, and Lacey sleeping in her chair. I'm sorry. You know what else we could call it?
Insufficient funds. You ain't got no money. Woo.
Oh my gosh, we're getting giddy now. I gotta stop. Oh, this is why I wear shape tape, because my face is turning red. Okay. I do really like that Soki though. That's funny. If I can come up with something about to make that work, I will. Oh my goodness. That's funny. Oh, I need a fan. Okay. That was great. Oh, Molly, I know. It's everywhere. It's everywhere. And this is why like I joke with everyone when that episode of South Park came out where they were making fun of Harry and Meghan, which I'm sorry. There are times like South Park, there are times they knock it out of the park. Like there's so many of those episodes that I think of that I'm just like they did it. They did the thing. And part of the things I love about South Park, and I know that some people find it offensive and all those types of things, but I feel like with South Park, no one's safe. Like they don't just pick like one person and go after them constantly. Like they make fun of everyone. It doesn't matter which side of the aisle, where they're from, anything like that. They just make fun of everybody. And I appreciate the equality for lack of a better term. And I think that show, they had the one portion of the episode where they had all the kids at the cafeteria table and they were like, if you hate them so much, why do you keep talking about them? Like, why do you keep bringing it up? And they're like, because I can't stop type thing. And they're like, but they keep bringing it up and everything else. And that's why I've said it a few times on Popcorn when it's come up that I'm like, I am so firmly at that cafeteria table. Like when something like big happens, like I'll reference it or whatever, right? But just like, but the thing is, I know there's things that I talk about a lot that people would probably get very sick of, right? Like I had for a long time, my channel was like exclusively Britney Spears, so I can't really, Yeah.
Once the book comes out.
Exactly. Yeah. Producer Sister just said, and it's probably going to have a lot more of that once the book comes out, because you better believe that I am going to be digging into that book. Like a lot. So I will try to keep other types of I will try to keep other types of content coming, because I don't want to just be focused on one thing. I think that would drive me crazy after a long time. But also I love Britney. I love Brittany, and I know way too much. And I might as well use that knowledge and put it somewhere. We just make a whole section. Oh. Well, you could make so General Scott, for anybody that's listening, I'm trying to be very conscious of that if you're listening, because I know some people just have it on in the background, and I don't want you guys, like, I just refer to something and you can't see it. General Scott just said you can make an insufficient funds portion involving people coming up short, internet fails, and being a dumb A. I mean, yeah, we could. I will take any excuse, any in the world, to play this.
Insufficient funds. You ain't got no money. Ooh.
Ooh. I'm so glad I get to share this with people now. Oh, yeah. Oh my gosh, yeah. Yeah, honestly, some of my favorite streams I've ever done have been ones that Annie and I did for a while when news was really slow. We do Florida Man Friday, and we would just laugh at just the idiocy of some people. Oh, it's just sometimes things are just shocking. And I guess that's one of the things I love about the internet is just how weird things can get. And then I think there was probably, like, I can imagine throughout history, people would hear really silly stories about people and probably would doubt that they were real. And now we like live in a time where, no, we know. Oh my goodness. Take a look here. That woo is fire, right? Right? It's so good. It's so good. All hail. Oh. Now it's a Florida woman. I'm not quite sure what you're referring to, Gigi, in specifics, but I mean, I think Florida right now as a whole, I don't know what's going on. And I say that as someone that really, really did and does. I have a soft spot in my heart for Florida. I've spent a good amount of my life in Florida. And I know that some people, like, there's a lot of really wonderful people in Florida. There's a lot of really wonderful things in Florida. But it's always just, I don't know what it is, but it's like, it just feels like sometimes you hear the weird stories and you're like, yep, that's coming out of Florida. And I mean, we have Canadian equivalents. Do not get me wrong. So, yeah, it's always just weird things happen. Oh, Shiloh Toto, first time on this channel ever, and I seem to very much enjoy it. I joined from Popcorn Planet just the other day. Thank you very much. I'm so glad you came over. I hope that I have entertained you. I hope you've had a good time. I know this has been a weird stream. We've gone from like super serious, like some of the worst things ever that can happen to a person to, now we're talking about Florida. Right? But we try to keep it fun here. And I think that that's what life's like too, like you got to have changes in tone. You can't just keep everything the same. So it's women from Florida that are making the news lately. I have not looked. I should though. But yes, welcome Shiloh. I'm so glad you're here. I hope you enjoy it. And again, I will throw this out again. Please consider subscribing if you have not subscribed. Please consider sharing if you haven't shared. If you think any of my content that there's someone that would enjoy it. I would love to see you. I did also just want to say thank you so much to Heather that sent me a PayPal. Thank you so much. It's so sweet of you. Actually, I have had a few PayPals I haven't been able to say thank you for in the recent past, because you guys were sending me stuff while I was off sick. So thank you so much. I will say thank you to Denise. Thank you to Shelly. Thank you to General Scott as always. Jean Rick sent me one not too long ago as well. And Heather just now. Thank you guys so much for your support as always. It really does mean the world. And I have to figure out what I'm gonna do after. Because right now the money that's going through PayPal is going to pay off the things that I had to buy because everything broke. My laptop stopped working. My camera stopped working. So all that stuff is going towards that and just trying to keep things up. And I'm trying to up the quality here a little bit. I hope you guys have seen that I'm trying to do like better graphics. We're trying to make sure that things flow really nicely. Just because I want you guys to enjoy this. And I am attempting to be somewhat of like an actual professional YouTuber. Maybe one day it will happen. Maybe one day. Oh my goodness. Yeah. Well, I think. Oh my goodness. Looking around you, maybe. General Scott just said, looking around you, maybe an Alf segment for alien stuff, Bad Muppets. You Demand segment for people winning despite their own stupidity.
I have written suggestions down on my whiteboard.
Oh, okay. I will say, producer sister has a whiteboard that she makes notes on through the show. So yeah, we'll definitely take a look. Yeah. Oh my goodness. Oh, thank you, Rando. Said you do an amazing job. So does producer sister. Yes, she does. She's very, very humble. Yes, she does. Yes, she does. All the credit in the world to producer sister.
No.
She just said no. No. Yes. Yes. No, we're trying to be better people. We're trying to build our self-confidence and worth. We are going to own when we do things good. I said that so well. We're going to own when we do things good. Much good. Such wow. Oh my gosh. Wait. I am so tired, guys. We're getting punchy. We're getting giddy. Woo. Woo. Yeah. So I think I'm gonna start trying to maybe like as I figure out the stream deck, I may just start adding a couple random different meme videos and we'll throw them in. But yeah, definitely give me your suggestions on that because I know some of the ones I've used the most in my videos are the Scottish woman saying disgusting. I love her. Also the Why the F You Lion, because I feel like that should be like my national anthem. It just speaks to my soul on so many levels. We also are going to have just because we need to have two bros chilling in a hot tub 5 feet apart because they're not gay. I have to ask, how many of you guys know what that is? Can you put a 1 in the chat if you know two bros chilling in a hot tub, and put a 2 if you don't? Because if enough of you have not, I need to share this with you.
A couple people got your Little Britain.
Oh, a few of you got Little Britain, the Little Britain reference? Computer says no. Doja. I'm a cow. Moo. Moo. There's this old song that Doja Cat did called I'm a Cow. And I'm not quite sure why she did this, but it was very near the beginning of her career. I would definitely say it's not safe for work. But it was like her just singing that she was a cow, that she wasn't a cat, she was a cow. And literally like the chorus is just her going moo, moo, and she has like straws up her nose and she's twerking and it's just the most like I don't even know. And I just remember like I saw it and when she won, like I think she won a Grammy or something, and I was like, I just went back because I'm like, I remember that the first thing I knew about Doja Cat was that song, and now she has a Grammy. We live on a really weird timeline, guys. I can't show you that. I would not be able to show you that. But yeah, I'm definitely seeing there's a good amount of people that do not know two bros chilling in a hot tub. Yeah, part of the problem is I was obsessed with a little old app called Vine when I was in college, and it just made me really, really happy. I think I'm okay to show two bros chilling in a hot tub. I will give credit. So it's captioned, what is the opposite of gaydar? Okay. And I'm gonna have to just let it loop for a second because it's like a short, so I don't know if it's gonna like let me play it the way I want to. Let me see what I can do here. Yeah, it's all shorts. Urgh. So it starts, it just loops. Okay. Let me share screen here. Share screen. There we go. So literally this is as big as I could do it. It's so frustrating. I hate this. Okay. Let me know if you guys can hear it.
Bros chilling in the hot tub, 5 feet apart cause they're not gay. Two bros chilling in the hot tub, 5 feet apart cause they're not gay. Two bros.
Yeah. So Vine just had these really, really short clips that just looped forever and ever and ever and ever. And that one for me just it just got me. I was done. This is just like the best thing I had ever seen in my life. And I still say it all the time. It's ridiculous. But yeah. I believe that was Anthony Palladà. Two bros chilling in a hot tub. And I wish I knew where to I wish I knew where to credit it. Because it's like the original credit would go to Vine, but Vine doesn't exist anymore. So I don't know. I don't know. Oh, hi Jules. You've missed everything. I love you. No, we went over a bunch of stuff to do with the 8 Passengers Jodi Hildebrandt drama, and talked about some of that stuff. We did an Am I the A-hole? We laughed about Jennifer Hudson. So you missed this beautiful thing.
Insufficient funds. You ain't got no money. Woo.
That's one of my favorite things in the world, and I wanted to share that with everyone. Take a look here. Yes. Okay, let me look up and see if I can find it, because I definitely want to credit him, because I think a lot of Viners do not get enough credit for what they did back in the day. So let me take a look here. Yeah, but I think like he kind of does like a podcast now and stuff. So I don't know, but what I will do here. There's his YouTube channel. Put it in the chat. Oh, okay. Danny, where's it? Danny was asking about my Funko Pops.
Yeah.
I'm trying to find the.
It was back a bit.
Was back a bit.
Yeah.
Okay. So there you
What
are.
are the Funko Pops on your top shelf?
Okay. Let me get my mic here. Hopefully I don't break anything. Okay, so here is the Mean Girls collection. So we've got like Regina, Caddy, Gretchen, and Karen. Because Mean Girls is part of my soul. And producer sister, you got those for me, didn't you? Yeah, you got me the whole set. You surprised me with that. And then I have the Britney Funkos. So up here, we've got the special edition of Slave and the diamond edition of Oops, I Did It Again. And both of those, I believe. Oh, and we have the limited edition toxic one. It's like in a different pose. Those all came from Steph the Elder Nerd. She got those all for me, and she gave them to me in Vegas. I had no idea she did it, but it was very, very sweet. So, and I also have the circus one here, Slave, the normal Oops, I Did It Again, and I have another one upstairs that is a duplicate of one of these, and I can't remember which one it is. But yeah, those are the Britney Funkos I have. I'm always looking for more of those. And before anybody asks, I can tell you guys down here, I have Lumpy Space Princess from Adventure Time. I have Severus Snape from Harry Potter, because Alan Rickman is incredible, and may he rest in peace. And I firmly believe that he deserved an Oscar for Severus. I will die on that hill. Tim the Enchanter from Monty Python and the Holy Grail, because that movie is flawless. Ryuk from Death Note, which is an anime, and I will tell you, I don't care if you've never watched anime in your life, or if you think that it's like a weird, medium or whatever, but Death Note as a series, whether it's the manga or whether it's the anime, is one of the most incredibly written pieces of work I have ever had the privilege of getting to see. Death Note is very much a story about a young man who is basically given the opportunity to become God. And you watch him have these gifts given to him that he can then choose how he's going to use. And it starts with him trying to make the world a better place, and then eventually power corrupts. And it's such an interesting story arc. and it really makes you, when you watch it, it's always funny to me because it's always the point where people start to be like, when does this become a problem? When do you stop rooting for him? And the whole thing is set up by this little blue dude, Ryuk, who basically gives him these powers. And the crux of this whole situation is he doesn't give it to him because there's like some big plan in the universe or anything. It's just because he's bored. He just creates like absolute chaos because he's bored. This is the chaotic energy I live for. Then I have Oscar the Grouch from Sesame Street because puppets. Minnie Mouse, which is a gift from a friend. Yoda, and he's the bobblehead one because I love me some Yoda. And then down here, the only other two I have are Jack Skellington, but it's the one that has the vampire teddy because I love that thing so much. And then Heimlich from A Bug's Life because I know everybody has their favorite Pixar movies, and I am usually the only one in this camp, but my favorite one by far is A Bug's Life. Producer Sister and I know every word of that movie. It is so criminally underrated. I don't care. The movie is fantastic. It's so good. It's so good, and Heimlich is amazing. Are your shelves the command shelves? No, they are IKEA. I am Architectural Digest over here. I am Better Homes and Gardens. Y'all know it. No, I have not seen the TikTok of the Southern lady with a crayon in her mouth. Apparently, I need to look this up because I don't know what that is. Adventure time. Adventure time. I honestly, I've had a love for Lumpy Space Princess because there was an episode where Lumpy Space Princess basically moved out and lived on her own, and she's like made like a campfire for herself, and she's not doing well. Right? Like she's not doing well as a character. And everybody just asks her like, are you okay? And she's like, yeah, I'm doing so good. I've got like this can of beans. I'm doing amazing. She's just got like this can of beans, and she's like by the fire, like outside, like I'm living the dream. And I'm like, I relate to this so much. It's so stupid. Anyway, yeah, you just take a look. Oh, Jules, yeah, that's a struggle. That is a struggle. I think there's a lot of like, there's even like a lot of like wall clings you can get, and I'm sure there's things you can do with command strips. The other thing I did for the first few times that I streamed was I actually had like old IKEA bookshelves behind me. And I had those, I don't even think I had them bolted to the wall. I can't even remember. I don't know how I did it, but basically I had like a shelving thing behind me that was more like a unit. And then I put stuff on that. So that's how I did that for a bit. That was before I had like a studio. That was called, I went in the corner of my bedroom and put stuff behind me because I thought that that's what all real YouTubers did. And now everybody that I stream with has all these really cool sets around them. And I'm like, I'm in my basement with my Alf doll. Hooray. Let me take a look here. Yeah, Melissa, I love One Piece. Oh my goodness. I have never really gotten into One Piece because I kind of feel like it's so overwhelming now for me to start. And that's how I felt like 10 years ago. I give up. I don't even know how I would catch up at this point. But I know there's so much love. There's so much love for One Piece. Oh, Billy Cat. Yeah. Yep. I love Alan. Billy Cat just said, I love Alan Rickman in anything. He was so cool and very scrumptious. He was scrumptious-lessened. And he always wanted to play a hero, but he was an excellent villain. I mean, the fact that, like, I'm pretty sure his first film credit ever was Die Hard. Like, the dude was amazing. The dude was amazing. And, yeah, so much respect for him. Yes, Yoda. Katie, you love A Bug's Life? Yay! We always joke there's like a part in like the first 5 minutes of the film where there's a leaf that falls down on the ground and the ants don't know how to go around the leaf because they can't fathom that the leaf is not so huge that you can't go around it. So like one of the elder aunts has to come down and it just says like, we're going to go around the leaf. And they're like, I don't think we could do that. And he's like, oh, nonsense. This is nothing. What is it? Like, this is nothing compared to the twig of 93. So like they had like this colossal event where a twig fell and they all had to go around it. It's just the twig of 93. So we always joke that like when my dogs, like if they see something and they feel like they can't move past things, because Shih Tzus have like spatial reasoning issues sometimes, or like object permanence. They don't understand what happens when things move. They don't get it. And they kind of like freeze and go like, what is this? And we just go, it's nothing like the twig of 93. We're going to be okay. Oh, chaotic energy muddle. Welcome to the chaos. The whole movie is quotable. Yes, producer sister. I'm so glad there's a Bug's Life love. Yay! And you two did. Yes. I'm ashamed to tell you how many times I went to see that in theaters. But in all fairness, our parents had to take us, and I think they just figured out that there was like a really cheap movie theater that they could take us to and pay like $2, and we just go see that movie all the time.
And then they re-released it with bloopers.
Yeah, then they re-released it with bloopers and we had to go back. But we went to like this movie theater where I'm pretty sure, didn't somebody get killed there?
Yes.
Somebody died.
Someone was alive there.
Somebody was unalived in the parking lot of that
By
movie
someone
theater
else.
by someone else. And after that, nobody wanted to go to that movie theater anymore. But I thought that was kind of silly because where I grew up, that kind of happened everywhere.
Like,
So I was like, okay, why does it really matter? But whatever. Like, not that it didn't matter that the person passed, right? Like, that's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying that it's like, if I didn't go anywhere in the area I lived in where someone had been unalived, you wouldn't go anywhere. I wouldn't be going to school. So I mean, it's just like, what is the point? So just saying. Yeah, the outtakes at the end of A Bug's Life were beautiful. Am I wearing a Twala shirt? Yes, I am. Yes, I am. Yes, I am. Because recovery is possible. And I'm very passionate about that. And I think they're a fantastic organization. Yeah, Bug's Life was wonderful. I was so sad when they took, Jalissa said, I'm so sad when they took out all their Bug's Life rides to the show. And show from the California side of Disneyland. Yeah, and I'm hearing that apparently the Bug's Life 3D show at Animal Kingdom is likely getting a retheme as well.
Yeah.
So that's gone too. Not yet, but it's happening. Yeah, it's a bummer. I feel like it's kind of underappreciated, but that's just my opinion. Let's say, yes, that is a Tiffany bag. I fulfilled a promise to myself that I had had for over a decade when I was in Vegas, and I bought myself a small little one of the Tiffany heart necklaces. You may have seen me wear it. So I just kept the bag, and I thought it was really cute, and I wanted to somehow incorporate it because it was like a manifesting like goal that I had had for myself for a long time that I reached. And I was like, how do I incorporate this? So I look at it and I remember that I did it. And I was like, why not just put Trilo in it from Bear in the Big Blue House? Because that just feels appropriate for me at this point. We got something fancy and nice. Let's put a Muppet in it. Yes. Oh, that bunny was dynamite. Project Metal music. The best character from Monty Python and the Holy Grail was the bunny. Uh-huh. Yep. And that's the thing. I didn't buy it for Tim the Enchanter. I bought it for the bunny. You bought it for the bunny. Definitely. Let me take a look. Yeah, Danny Skills. Yeah, Steph streamed with the sparkling cloth for a bit when she was fixing things. It looked good and super easy. 100%. And honestly, Jules, I would say the other thing too you could consider, if you were open to it, is a green screen. I actually have a green screen on my floor that I can open and put up and then put down. It takes me about 20 seconds to put it up and take it down. And then it closes in like a nice little box. I use it mostly for work, but like last year for Halloween when I did Brittany and I did the blackout cover, I used it through the whole stream and I had no issues with it whatsoever. It was great. So you can basically put whatever you want behind you while you figure stuff out. And then that screen can travel with you as well, wherever you go. So I'd say that's an option too. And I can talk to you about that too if you want me to. General Scott. Not basement. Space Angel Studio. Ooh. Oh my gosh. It's like we could do live from the Actors Studio, but it's live from the Space Angel Studio. And I can only ask 3 questions or whatever it was that they did back whenever that show. I can't even remember that. I used to watch it all the time, but I don't have much remembering of it. Holy crap, Heather. Heather just gave a very generous PayPal to me with just the message tech. My goodness. Thank you so much, Heather. You did not have to do that. That is incredible. And that will be going towards the payments that I need to make. Thank you very, very much. That does really help. I really do appreciate that. It's very, very kind of you. Oh, sorry. I was not expecting that. Wow. Okay. Whew. Thank you. Nookie Birch said, sorry, Kim, arrived late to your live. No worries. It's fine. We're all just chilling. We're honestly, we're like in the end part of the show where I just kind of go through the chat and we just chill. And have a good time. And, replay crew, also, if you're still watching, hello. I will say this too, before I forget, because I always forget to, when the stream is over, if you guys wouldn't mind reloading the page and leaving a comment, that helps out the algorithm dramatically. I really, really appreciate it if you can do that, because the thing is, like, the chat is super active and that's great. But the thing is, when the video ends and there's no comments, it's like, okay, nobody cares. I've noticed that. And I don't understand the logic of that, because it's like, but I do have comments, like literally like hundreds of comments that were left through the stream, but that doesn't matter, which is frustrating. So yeah. That's it. So Katie just asked, did you see the animated Ants movie growing up? It was so risque in my my Christian school, the Ants butt scene. I do remember that movie. I do. I think I did see both, but I've always kind of been like, if you're gonna pin like A Bug's Life and Ants up against each other, A Bug's Life for me wins every time. And I think I only saw it like maybe once or twice. I think I actually watched it in civics when I was in high school. Because it's about classes. It's like the class system and everything and all that type of stuff and like roles in society. No, that wasn't No, different person. Different person. I had a different person for civics. I don't think that my teacher in civics liked me very much. That's okay. A lot of my teachers didn't like me. That's okay. That's okay. But look at me now. Hi. Take a look here. A Bug's Life. Yeah, Lisa, A Bug's Life made me think differently of ants. It's true. It's true. HP just said, thoughts on Elon's expose. I don't have anything nice to say. Really. So, and I honestly, I don't know enough about it. I don't know enough about it because I haven't watched it and I don't really have interest in reading it because I feel like I hear enough from him on a daily basis that I don't need to hear more, if that makes sense. Yeah. Yeah, Katie, yeah, I can't, but I mean, he does it well. Say what you want about Kevin Spacey, because I definitely have opinions too. He's not my favorite person in the world, but I think he did an incredible job on that. Absolutely. That's interesting. HP, that is very interesting. Oh, Gigi, your son has A Bug's Life on video cassette. Which one? Because wasn't there like when it came out, there were 4 different kinds of the video cassette cover. Like you could get Flick, you could get Hopper, you could get Heimlich, and you could get Dot. Holy crap! How do I remember that?
I don't remember that.
Were there 5? Now I can't even remember. Because I feel like there would be one for Francis too. Because I think we got the one with Dot on it, but now I kind of wish we'd gotten the one with Heimlich. These are the random things that stay in my brain. Do I remember anything of what I studied really in school? No.
At least 6.
There were 6.
I've got. I think there was 5, and then the re-release was another.
Okay, there were 5, and then there was a re-release, and there was another one, according to producer sister.
Just from my quick Google search.
Yay! Right, yeah, it is a tiny cute bag. That's why I didn't get rid of it, because I was like, it's so cute. It's so, so cute. I don't remember the bunny and Monty Python? Danny, you don't remember the bunny?
Go watch it again.
Oh my goodness, it's a whole part of it, and it's fantastic. The bunny's dynamite. Oh my gosh, Billy Cat. Yes, Alan Rickman's comedic timing in Dogma, Galaxy Quest. They were such a departure by Grabthar's Hammer. Absolutely. Galaxy Quest is one of my favorite movies ever. And honestly, it's so funny because I quote it all the time and people don't know. Like literally earlier in this stream, I was like, because it's always about you, isn't it? That's literally from Galaxy Quest. That is Alan Rickman yelling about Tim Allen. It's there's like another part, like Sam Worthington through that whole movie. He has so many good lines in that film. It's just ridiculous. There's one part where he's having like an absolute panic attack because they're going on a new alien planet and they open the door to get on the planet and he's just like freaking out, not knowing if you can breathe on the planet. And he's like, "Is there air? You don't know." He just like he just freaks out. And the animal turned inside out. And it exploded. It's so much. Danny, you never watched Monty Python? Okay, no, you need to because it's still good sober. It's still good. Oh my gosh, yeah. No, it's like towards the end of the movie, they you know, they end up at this cave and they can't get into the cave because there's this bunny that is attacking them. And so they have to get the holy hand grenade and they bless that and they read the scripture from the book and then they throw the holy hand grenade and the bunny is no more and then they're able to proceed into the cave. Like oh my gosh. What streaming service is that on?
Yeah, or Monty Python?
Yeah, the Holy Grail. Because I think if I was ever gonna do like a hypothetical movie night where people could like watch a movie in another window and watch along with me, I would totally do that in a heartbeat. Yeah. Oh my goodness. Just looking. I'm trying to catch up on the chat. Yes, the bunny had red eyes. Yes. Yep. Oh, thank you, Kyle. I hope you have fun at the store. It's on Netflix?
Yep.
No.
Flying Circus, Life of Brian.
The thing is, though, I know a lot of people have canceled their Netflix.
I know.
So it's like, I feel bad doing that, you know? Oh my goodness. Oh, Melissa, that's so cute. She collects bags, Tiffany bags for under her Christmas tree, which is decorating in silver, Tiffany and Tiffany blue. That is so cute. That is so cute. I love Tiffany blue. Have a Bugs Life segment, General Scott. Have a Bugs Life segment where people narrate the actions of bugs and animals. It's like Snoop Dogg. When Snoop Dogg does the nature documentary voiceover, I don't know if you guys have ever seen that. It's glorious. Absolutely glorious. Oh my goodness. You said making me think of Son banning A Land Before Time from being watched ever again in this house because of the bomb, and he banned because he cried for over an hour. That movie's sad. It's sad when Littlefoot loses his mom. It's like that scene in the Never-Ending Story. Like it scars people. You know, there's certain scenes like that. It's like, HP said you kind of remind me of Cher a little bit. I have heard that before, and I don't get it. I don't know if it's just maybe just like the dark hair. I don't know. I don't sound like Cher. I love her attitude though. She's hilarious. Her Twitter is incredible. I used to follow her when I was on Twitter. Take a look here. Yeah. GG, I think that is Holy Grail. If you're talking about the castle where they went into and there was, yeah, when Lancelot was in there, if I remember correctly, Lancelot came and saved one of them. I can't remember his name. I'm having brain farts now. Sorry. Not the Messiah. I'm not gonna lie. I will be very upset if when I die, Always Look on the Bright Side of Life is not played at my funeral. I will be very upset. I'll be very upset. Actually, a bit like Alanis. I mean, we're both Canadian. We're both Canadian. Yes, okay. always look on the bright side of life. Do-do, 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 do-do. Yep. I think I'm actually caught up, guys. Okay, so now I have a question. The poll here, I'm going to end it now. The poll for the Am I the A-hole? We literally stopped at like 1 in 4 didn't think that she was right. 1 in 4 of you thought that she was being a jerk. This is interesting to me because I didn't see any of that discussion as to why. I'd like to understand why. It's a flesh wound. Maybe the person thought she's being an a-hole. Yeah, maybe was this like self-loathing? I don't know. Oh my goodness. Well, I think I need to start winding down, guys. So I'll let this go for like another minute or two in case somebody wants to send anything else in. If anybody has any more questions, but we've been here for 2 hours or so, which is pretty good. I'm pretty happy with that. Let me take a look here. Yeah. But thank you guys so much for being here. I had a lot of fun this stream. I hope you guys did too. And I'm glad that we had fun at the end because I know the beginning of the stream was pretty serious. And again, I am going to encourage you guys, please remember to hit like on the stream. Please consider subscribing if you have not. If you think you know somebody that would enjoy my content, hey, let them know about me. Hi. And please leave a comment at the end of the stream. It means the world to me. Yes, the flying circus, the parrot sketch. Spam, 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 spam. It's so good. Honestly, and it's funny too, because I feel like sometimes I don't think a week can go by in my life that my husband and I don't at one point yell at each other and go, nobody expects the Spanish Inquisition, at least. There's also, what was it? I have to Google this because I can't remember the specifics, but there was one sketch I remember from that show that always got me because they communicated with flags. The whole point of it was they were retelling like a literary masterpiece, but they were speaking using flags, and it was like a British, like very well-known literary masterpiece type thing, and I cannot remember what it's called. But I just remember that whole sketch for me just killed me every time. I just laughed my head off. It was ridiculous. But yeah, spam, the parrot, silly walk, paying for an argument, that was a good one. Yeah. I go on Monty Python binges. They're amazing. And oddly enough, actually, I don't know if you guys know this, that's part of why my name is what it is. Because at the beginning of Flying Circus, it would just load. And what was his name? One of the guys always like ran. He was very far off screen. And then he'd run towards the camera like in an open field. It was Michael. I think it was Michael Palin. And he would run towards the camera and then he'd be like so out of breath, like about to pass out. And then he'd get to the camera and just go, and then the Monty Python theme would play. So I sometimes I was like, well, I'm just Kim. Like, what do I even say? And then I was watching Monty Python and it was like, and I went, it's Kim. Yep, that's the thing. Linda, your English teacher made you watch Monty Python in school. Your English teacher believed that children were the future. I would get away. I would get along with this teacher. That's amazing. That is amazing. Oh my gosh. Project Red Music, are you serious? Did they really? Are there legal documents? Because I would go through that. I would study that. That's amazing. Yes, it was Wuthering Heights. Thank you. Oh my gosh. It was glorious. Glorious. It was beautiful. Oh. Monty Python was great. It was great. I miss them. But I mean, they did it. They did the thing and they made it and they did it. And they were fantastic. You don't know Monty Python, Sarai? They were a comedy troupe. They're a British comedy troupe, and they did very off the wall, bizarre humor, but they also did a lot of like almost social commentary in a weird way. I think a lot of them had kind of I get this vibe, and from like the documentaries I've seen, they didn't want to do like the traditional like be successful thing, like become an accountant or whatever. They really wanted to do. I know, I'm sorry, producer sister. It's not a shade, but it's just they wanted to do comedy, and they really like to make fun of just people being very stuck up, I think was always a thing, which is like where the silly walk comes from, I believe, and things like that. It's just beautiful. It's beautiful. Okay, for the record, your daughter just said, lol, he also ran the talent show and always had a skit for himself to do. He looked like Rick blah, he looked like Rick Moranis. I love him. I love him. Oh my goodness. Yeah. Sketch comedy. They're just amazing. 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 Okay. All right. I'm actually going to wind down now because I have to have dinner, and we're having I've got stuff we got to do. We are helping we're helping Kim's parents because Kim's parents are having friends over this weekend, and we want to make sure that everything's perfect. So yeah, we have to help out the parental units. Project Middle Piece, I'll do some research. It's been 40 years. It's been 80 years. It's been 90 years. Oh, it's been so long. I'm just saying that like one of the things I love, and I will just put this out there. I haven't been able to the last couple weeks, but I love watching like Friday Night Frenzy with Lon Lumber and Ian Runkle, Runkle the Bailey, and Uncivil Law with Kurt, and just people that go on there. And so often you just read through legal documents, and there's been some of the document I never thought that reading legal documents would be entertaining, but I have laughed until I've wept watching those streams of just some of the things that they find. It's just awesome. It's awesome. Never thought I would enjoy law as much as I have enjoyed law in the past year. It's been life-changing. It's okay. That's not what I meant. I was thinking about Titanic, but now it's in my head. It's been 30 years since you've been gone. And now you've been remastered. And we all get to see you again for the first time. Please like Nuke the Fridge on Facebook. Please like it. And we can keep in touch. I love you, Lewis. Oh my goodness. Is it lawful law? Linda, is it lawful law? Is it? My goodness. I'm not even going to lie. I am like, okay, long time ago. You know what? I'm going to plug it. I'm going to plug it because I feel like it didn't get enough love when I put it out, and it made me very sad. Give me a second. When the original Alex Murdaugh trial happened, and I say original because we are looking potentially at this trial happening again, which is just ridiculous, but it is quite possibly going to happen again. But the trial itself was just absolutely bizarre, and the things that happened in that courtroom, I was getting like flashbacks to Daryl Brooks. So yeah, this was a fun video to do. I did. Yeah, it was fun. And I was very fascinated through the whole trial with who I lovingly refer to as Dick Poot, because his name is Dick Harpootlian. He is Alex Murdaugh's lawyer, and also is a politician that has a very interesting background. Googling him was fun. But just some of the things that he did through it, and the judge and everything else. And honestly, for me now, when I watch court cases, I'm so interested in the lawyers, because between actually like watching the Depp trial and watching Elaine, who is now just like rent free in my brain forever, not to mention the whole like objection hearsay, you asked the question moments, and all that stuff. it was so entertaining. And then there was like the Daryl Brooks case, who of course he was his own lawyer, which was a choice. And then we went into the Murdoch case, and I followed that. And then Dick Harpootlian was there, and Dick Poot was making me laugh every day. And then we moved into the what's her face? Gwyneth Paltrow trial, and she had Simple Country Lawyer that kept like coughing into the microphone. And yeah. Oh my gosh. Just the lawyers can make it, you know? And I never thought that that would be the thing. I never thought it would be the thing. Oh my gosh, arnica cream. Amica cream. And honestly, I am going to share screen on this one. Hang on. What killed me the most about that whole thing, I know I keep saying I have to go and then I keep talking. The way I screamed when I went into Sephora earlier this year, and I realized that there is a brand. It's a hair care one, but they're called Amica. It's Amica. And I was like, no. And I know it's supposed to be arnica, but that is not what Elaine said. It is Amica. So now in my brain, when I think about it, I'm like, did Amber put this on her face? Did she put Hydro Rush on her face? I have questions. I think we're glitching a bit. I'm sorry if we're glitching. I feel like I'm seeing a bit of a glitch going on. Anyway, I need to stop. This is my sign. This is my sign to go. All right. Guys, thank you guys so much for being here. This has been so much fun. I'm hoping to be back for Monday to stream. And I will talk to you guys then. And yeah, I mean, we can keep in touch. I'm on Instagram. You can see my link trees in the description, and there you can see my Insta. That's where I give the most up-to-date updates just of whatever's going on. Like, for example, if I'm sick, that's where I say something. If there's something wrong, that's where I say it. And I also just share funny things or other random thoughts that I have, or little things of like encouragement, just stuff that I want to share with you guys because I love you. And I also have in my link tree, there is the link to my PayPal if you ever want to support that way, as well as my link to my threads. I don't use it that much, but I think it's a good thing to have because I don't have Twitter. So that's the whole thing. And also, you are always welcome to check out the Space Angel membership. So I don't know what it is specifically in your currency, but I have set it to $2.99 Canadian a month. And also make sure if you're not in that place, but you want to be a member, allow gifts, because eventually, likely the way that things go, you will end up being a member, and you can enjoy all of the content, all the behind the scenes stuff, all the fun stuff. And I will hopefully be adding more to that very, very soon. So thank you guys so much for being here. Much love to all of you. Please remember to leave a comment. And we're out. And I'm going to do a special outro today.
Insufficient funds. You ain't got no money.